Hello, welcome to CGTN Live. I'm Danni at the Media Center in Beijing, and today, less than 14 minutes, the third session of 13th National People's Congress will conclude in the in China in the Great Hall of the People. And today, here we're at the Media Center, following the closure of this year's two session will be Chinese Premier Li Keqiang is going to address a media conference in this room. So join me today with my four other colleagues, Serena Dong, Ding Yang, and Jessica Zhang and Wang Mengjie, will give you a better view of this year's two sessions and what are the differences of this year's two sessions and how we think about it and with our takeaways. And this morning, the 13th NPC voted on adopting several important documents, including political resolutions for the third session of the 13th NPC and plans laid out in the government work report allocating of budget, both at central and local government levels. So from the duration of this meeting to fewer press conferences, we have been talking about how different this two session is in this time around with social distancing measures. As you can tell, all the journalists and reporters are wearing masks. So person-to-person interactions between media and NPC deputies and CPPCC members are not allowed. Instead, technologies like cloud computing and conference links are being used for media briefings and interviews. But none of these changes have actually deemed NPC deputies' enthusiasm on winning in some of the key issues facing the country. So in less than 1.5 hours, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang will go into taking questions from the media in this room, presumably elaborating on the issues mentioned in the government report. So for instance, how is China going to set out measures to improve the public health system, including the reform of the system for disease prevention and control? And we all know that China has largely brought down the pandemic under control. But it still faces many challenges, such as reviving the economy. How would the government do its best to support enterprises, especially small and medium businesses? And the world is actually watching China's every step in its recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. So each year, Premier Li Keqiang set up a press conference for media to ask questions, and these questions are mainly highly talkable topics, hot issues from the government work report. And secondly, queries related to China's first ever civil code, which deals with the intellectual property, marriage, and family laws, are expected to be raised. And finally, I think the last and most important topic is going to be talked about and hotly debated in the past week is the draft of the national security law for Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. And this draft, which was submitted to China's national legislature for deliberation, aims at establishing and improving the legal system for enforcement mechanism in the city to safeguard national security and plug the loophole in Hong Kong SAR's legal system regarding national security. So these are hot issues this year for this year's two sessions. For those of you who might just join CGTN's live, we're here at the Media Center, and less than actually 30 minutes later, the third session of the 13th National People's Congress, China's top legislature, will conclude at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, and bringing this year's two sessions, the country's biggest annual political event, to a closure. And we're here at the meeting room. So 1 hour later, we're going to have to meet the Premier Li Keqiang is going to meet the press via video link. So today, join me, also join me with my colleague Serena, and she has been covering these two sessions for over a week as well. So I'm going to meet her and to see how does she feel about this year's two sessions and what's her takeaway from these two sessions. Hello, Serena.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Long
This is our
time no
first
see.
time to see each other.
Yes.
Because we're separated in different
Bases.
bases. Yeah.
How are you doing so far?
So far, so good. So you've been covering this for over a week as well. So what's your main takeaway from this year's two sessions?
Well, I think the most significant keywords for this year's two sessions would be different. There's just a lot of differences from previous years. So I'm gonna take it from here. I know you're gonna standing by for the presser and the closing session. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, see you a bit.
Bye. Okay, so thanks Danny, and thanks again for staying with us. So we are actually standing by inside the media center, standing by for the closing session, as well as the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang's presser. As you can see, there are a lot of reporters coming up to the conference hall. They're also covering the most anticipated presser aimed at the two sessions. So as I mentioned before, the most significant, or the keyword I would say for covering this year's two sessions would be different, starting from how we're covering the two sessions, as well as how the two sessions is being held than previous years. So as you can see, well, there will be a bunch of reporters coming up. If the camera can pan a little bit to see, everybody is wearing a mask. And all the social distancing are also in place. Go ahead, it's okay. We're actually live streaming from the media center, and lots of reporters, journalists are coming up for the most anticipated premier's presser. And then you can see okay, back to where we are. So from the opening days, we all noticed that there's one difference than previous years, is because Premier Li Keqiang said China will not actually set a GDP growth rate or growth number for this year due to the high uncertainty aimed there because of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as it caused the unstable of global economy. That's one difference I take from this year's coverage of two sessions. And then also, but at the same time, the government also says we're still trying to create jobs. 9 million new urban jobs will be created for the year of 2020. On top of that, there is also a stimulus package implemented soon. So I'm going to check my notes real quick. So a special 1 trillion yuan treasury bond will be issued. These funds will go directly to counties and cities, towns which have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic. So for the coming closing sessions, we're also expected the most talked about the China's newest civil code to be passed in this closing session. So what exactly is the civil code? So basically, it's a wide ranging of legislative package that includes strengthening protection of, if we can come here a bit closer, yeah, because we don't want to block the security check roads. Anyway, so back to where we are. So what exactly is the civil code? Is a wide-ranging legislative package that including strengthening the protection of property rights, personal information, and as well as marriage rules, or even the sexual harassment. This is also highly expected to vote pass during the closing session. So apart from the closing session will start at 3 o'clock, which is about half an hour away, and right after that it will be followed by Chinese Premier Li Keqiang's presser. So compared to last year, so during the compared to last year, what in particular, China introduced a foreign investment law last year during the closing session, and questions including China's economy, society, and culture, and etc. will be asked during the presser for the Premier Li Keqiang. So this year we are also expecting questions like how the Sino-US relation is heading aimed at the coronavirus pandemic, and then also the latest implemented the China's national security law, which will be implemented soon. I think the questions like this will be highly expected to ask during the Premier Li Keqiang's presser. So I think that is all my takeaways from the this year's Two session and the expectations for the coming closing session as well as the presser. But don't go away. My colleagues are standing by on the other side of the town they have also participated in this year's Two sessions, and what are they would like to share some of their thoughts and experiences of the coverage of these Two sessions. Don't go away and give it to them.
Thanks, Serena. Hi, this is Jessica live at a park just beside the media center where Chinese Premier Li Keqiang will answer the questions and the media will ask the questions to Chinese Premier Li Keqiang about the government work report and also the hottest topics about these year's Chinese political issues. So today I'm here in the park and would like to show you around the summer beauty here in Beijing. And after being postponed for almost 2 months, China's Two sessions finally convened here in Beijing about 1 week ago. And not just the timing of these Two sessions has been postponed, but also the length has been shortened. Normally, the Two sessions will last for about 10 days to 2 weeks, but this year the Two sessions last only 7 days, almost a week. So what is so special about these year's Two sessions? And today join me are two of my colleagues here who have been reporting at the frontier of these year's Two sessions at the Great Hall of the People and also the Media Center. So say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so Dean, I've noticed that you are wearing special goggles here. So what is special about these year's reporting at the Two sessions?
Maybe I can take this off.
Okay.
And yeah, I can demonstrate a little bit. Yeah. So actually, we've been wrestling with. Can I borrow this? We've been borrowing this for a very long time. This is the first time I come to the Two sessions broadcast bringing a gadget like this with me. And now I'm about to put it out.
So from now on,
What you are, with all the audiences, audience live stream now, if I'm not mistaken, I think that in the control room, my editor has already cut to the scene that is being filmed by my glass. And from the little screen in front of my eye, I know that what I'm framing at the moment is actually my colleague, Zang Shijie.
I need to make sure with the editor in the control room. So now it's definitely.
I'm seeing from the glasses, right? Okay, now I'm moving. The reason that this year we brought this, to the Two sessions is that we like to test the new technology, because technology has been wonderful topic during the two sessions, not just for this year, but for the previous years. And I'd like to draw on some personal experience about the technology. I started my career as a reporter about 12 years ago. And when I just entered this news industry, a field trip often involved at least two people, one cameraman and another person talking to the camera. And for the past 12 years, this industry has been transformed quickly by technology. But the number one change is the size of all the cameras has been shrinking. So we no longer, as a reporter, as journalists, we no longer need to, okay, so now I can still see my colleague. We no longer need to bring huge, large camera to the meeting room. All we need to do is just to bring a handheld, portable camera with us, so that we are able to do the work that used to involve at least two people by one person now. So all we need to do is to put up in the camera and standing in front of it and talk to the camera. And now, this technology has changed that too. So now you've been seeing from the first perspective of me. So I really need to pay extra attention to control these glasses. So now what I'm saying is this is a little park actually north to the media center where my colleague Wang Mengjie and Danni did their live stream. Yeah, because normally in front of the camera, I would be able to control myself because I always know where to put my eyes at to. But now, I'm a little bit heavy-handed.
This is slightly because I might look at my watch, I might look at my phone to check the message from the studio, but the original point about technology thing is the industry that I've been working for. But the change is sudden that we need to think.
First, now that we know that the job that used to involve two people or more people has been reduced to something that one person is capable of, that means some jobs are at risk because of technology. So for the two sessions, I believe that is one thing far more important to discuss, not just during the two session period, the two session week, but also we need to consider after the two session period. So that's the number one question that comes out of the technology I'm holding at my hand. Jobs could be at risk, and the point is the mismatch between the job lost because of technology and those created by new technologies, because there is one theory. The theory suggests that we don't need to be panicking about new technology, be it AI or big data or anything, because there's always new jobs created to replace the one that's being replaced. But like I said, the mismatch is the key. We never know if we're going to find a new job quickly enough for people who are at risk, who are the highest risk of being replaced by the new technology. That is problem number one. The second one is about ethical, because new technology like this, they look like exactly like glasses. But well, this one I think it is still a bit far away from being mistaken as a pair of glasses. But of course, it can be made that way, which means it's possible that in the future, 10 years or 5 years, we're going to live in an environment full of these things. And we can never be certain anymore that if what I'm saying to the person next to me is being consumed by that person only, or by the rest of the social media. So that is another problem we need to consider in relation to new technology. And the third one, I think, also important during the two sessions about 5G. In order to realize more fancy things like this, we definitely need more infrastructure. But in order to have that infrastructure in place, we have to act today, and the competition is harsh, and the environment is not always friendly. But still, this is a huge policy, so comprehensive. It covers all the necessary aspects of people's life. So it has to be handled delicately. We have to do it progressively. We have to make sure that every step we move in the next few years are all the right steps. Maybe now you can show around the environment that we are in now, and I'm about to show you another colleague of us, because this is the last day that we covering the two sessions, and Mengjie has been my colleague. We've been at the media center all together. Yeah.
Would you please turn the camera? I want to talk to you and walking you through. Yeah.
Sure.
Would you please just yeah.
Thanks.
Hello
Hi.
there.
Yeah, thanks for Dean to share his experience on reporting and broadcasting this year's two sessions using the latest technologies. So, Mengjie, thank you for joining me. And for your reporting this year for the two sessions, what is your insight and what is the most impressive experience for this year's reporting?
Yeah, I'm gonna start from. Hello there, I'm Wang Mengjie from CGTN. It's kind of like the pet phrase during my two sessions reporting. I think this time there were a lot of wow. Why you change the camera? I want to talk to you just through
Okay.
one camera. No.
Really?
No. Yeah. So yes. This session is I think got a lot of things to talk about. But to me, I think the technology is one thing really impressive. Not only for the attendees, not only for the members, the deputies, but also for reporters just like me. And I think because this technology brings the sessions closer to the public, and I think just like as we use the contactless goggles to for the news coverage, but also we do have for the like such as the CPPCC sessions, we do have the video links, the telephone interviews, and all of the technologies we can use to for the reporting between the attendees, between the CPPCC members and the journalists and all the public to close for this reporting. And just the other day, I got an interview with the CPPCC members from Hong Kong, and we use a kind of a video links to talk about to each other. It is a new experience, but also very interesting because we use this kind of a technology to do what we used to do, like these previous CPPCC members or all of the meetings. So I think that's for reporters, just for me. I think that is kind of interesting, also impressive, because this is not usual during the common or previous sessions, just due to COVID-19 this time. And just like what I reported the other days, the CPCC members corridor, and they are also used like the members and the reporters members and reporters gonna meet each other. They are not really meet. They just meet each other, see each other, one another through interview link, video links. So that's also another point. It made me impressive because I'm on the set. I'm on the set to see what really happened on set, and they're just talking with each other through this kind of large screens to no matter asking questions or answer questions, they feel like a very easy way, but it's more very like technological to think about the whole stuff. But at previous corridors, member could see each other, could even see the reporters face to face. But this year, something special and something impressive just on set. So I think. So I think all the just for reporters, for me, I think there are lots of uh, interesting, but also something impressive during the whole reporting. And just like what my colleague Danni Yang said before, and they show the audience about the contactless goggles, which we also use during not only in the media center, but also the Great Hall of the People. We do all of the reportings there, and we got the contactless goggles there. It's very convenient and provided the persons like us, the reporters, to cover what happened on set across distance in a hands-free format. That would also be, on one hand, it can save our time, and on the other hand, it can provide us and provide protections for us amid the COVID-19. So I think that's very interesting and impressive. And can I just okay, and next time, and then we're gonna still focus on the press conference for the next session. And please stay tuned for CGTN, and we offer live stream all of our session.